Maybe my last pregnancy update, you're 3 centimeters dilated. Welcome back. If you are new here, click the subscribe button. Today I am doing my 36 and 37 week pregnancy update. Today I am 36 weeks and 6 days today, so tomorrow I am 37 weeks and I'm technically full term. That is when my doctor says that it's totally fine to have baby and all of that. So and I think he's gonna come in the next couple days, so this may be my last pregnancy update. Possibly. Not sure if I'll actually make it to 38 weeks, so I guess we'll see. But I didn't do a video for 36 weeks because I've just been feeling like crap lately. So I'm in my 3rd trimester, so y'all know how that is. It sucks and I just wish that it was over. So I want to go onto my apps like I do every single week, and gonna go on to Pregnancy Plus first. So I'm on day 258. Crazy. That's what baby looks like. He's 19.13 inches and 6.3 pounds. So crazy to hear those numbers because Victoria was 6 pounds even and 19.5 inches long. So it's crazy. Like, I can't believe I made a full human. That is his actual size. Crazy. Your baby will weigh between 6 and 6.5 pounds this week. Lungs are fully developed, which means your baby would be able to breathe on its own if born now. Usually babies are head down at this point, but they can drop right until the time of birth. Onto that app, and now Baby Center. I have 25 days to go. So crazy. Your baby is about the size of a head of romaine lettuce. So crazy. So that is all onto my apps this week. Now onto my symptoms. So onto my 36th week. I had my first dream about baby boy. It was the first dream where I saw his face. So this entire pregnancy, I've never seen his face. It's very rare for me to actually dream of faces at all. If you don't know, the faces in your dreams are people that you've seen in real life because your brain can't make up a face. But yeah, I saw his face for the first time in my dream and it was amazing and surreal, and like it literally looked like what he looks like on his 3D ultrasound. So that was really exciting. But yeah, I saw his face for the first time in my dream. This past week, I've just been really emotional about Victoria not being the only baby now. I'm just kind of feeling a little guilty, and I know that she's 2.5. Like, I know that it's going to be really good for her to have a sibling to kind of share her toys, share her food, share, you know, all of that. And she is very motherly. Like, she has always been that child that just has that instinct in her. And like the other day, actually today, in fact, I was watching my show on Hulu and a baby started crying and she was like, oh my god, the baby's crying, and she wanted to like hold the baby in the show. And so I think that's just how she's gonna be. But I'm like, I'm really sad because obviously you don't know when the last day will be the last day, and unless you have an induction, which I will probably not because I won't make it past 39 weeks. So I've just been feeling really emotional lately, just kind of bringing baby boy into this world and like splitting my time between 2 kids now. Obviously it's going to be a transition and it's going to be hard on both of us, and it's making me really emotional because like I said, you don't know when the last day will be the last day, because I want to soak up that entire 24 hours that will be the last day. And it really kind of is hard when you don't know when that day is. So another thing this week is that this side of my neck and like throat has been very swollen. So what I mean by that is I've been very sick. I'm still sick, going on like 4 weeks now. The day after Christmas is when I got sick. So I'm still sick and it's the 22nd, so almost a month. The right side of my throat has been swollen and like my lymph node has been swollen, and I know that that can mean that your body's fighting off infection and stuff like that. But it was just kind of scary because my throat was like swelling and I was actually kind of scared that like it would swell to the point where it would be hard to breathe. But it wasn't at all, but it was scary at the same time. So I did talk to my doctor about that, and I will talk to you a little bit later about that in the video about the appointment. But she said like it's perfectly fine, it's just my cold. Another thing is I started timing contractions again. Now this was, oh man, this was a couple days after I timed last time I actually timed the contractions, if that makes any sense. Go watch the rest of my pregnancy updates if you have no idea what I'm talking about. I have prodromal labor this pregnancy, and I've been timing my contractions consistently pretty much because they have been very, very regular. So that also makes me wonder if I'm going to go into labor in a couple days as well, because I honestly don't think I will make it to next week. I think I'm going to have him on Monday, which is the day that this goes up. So if you guys see an I'm in labor video, you know that I'm in labor. Yeah, I started timing my contractions again. They weren't as consistent as they were before. Before they were 7 to 10 minutes apart for 2 hours, and they didn't let up until I fell asleep and whatnot. Obviously go watch the rest of my videos if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Started timing my contractions again, and I want to say that they were like, oh man, 30 to 12 minutes apart. So they started off at like 30 minutes apart, and then they went to like 12 minutes apart. So like they were getting closer together. Then they just kind of fizzled off like prodromal labor does. And so that really, really sucks. But yeah, I did time my contractions again. I timed them a couple times after that as well. Man, this week has been intense. Intense is, it's a good word for it. I have had acid reflux so much and heartburn. I have never had heartburn in my entire life. Not during Victoria's pregnancy, none. And then all of a sudden I just started getting acid reflux, which caused heartburn. If you don't know, heartburn is acid reflux. So, but yeah, I have had acid reflux in my life, but it never was to the point where it caused heartburn. So that's so much fun. But yeah, one day I just was so miserable, and I just couldn't do anything because my heartburn was so bad. It was even worse when I was walking around. So I literally laid in bed, laid on the couch all day long, because that was the only way that I was able to slightly keep it at bay. Even when I was laying down, it would hurt. If I was sitting up, it would hurt. If I would walk around and clean, it would hurt. If I would like bend over, it would hurt. So like anything that I did, it caused heartburn. And so I was like, this, I'm so done. So I literally just sat on my ass all day long, and I was like, I really just need to clean. Like I kept looking around the room, and I was like, I want to nest. Like what the? So that was a lot of fun. So I had my appointment, and as you guys saw, I was 3 centimeters dilated. This was at 35 weeks and 4 days. I want to say I was 35 weeks and 4 days when I went to my appointment. And I kind of told her that I was timing contractions and they were consistent and whatnot. And she was like, you know what, I'm just going to check you. So she checked me, and she was like, yeah, I can tell that those contractions are doing something. You're 3 centimeters dilated. I remember like hearing that come out of her mouth, and like, it was like a shock. I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm already 3 centimeters? What? I went into the hospital with Victoria at 3 centimeters. So it's just kind of like a surreal, like, oh shit, this is happening type of thing. It's just, this pregnancy has just kind of flown by to the point where it feels like it's only lasted 60 seconds. Obviously, like all the pain and all of that hasn't lasted 60 seconds, but this entire pregnancy has just flown by, and I don't know where the time went. It was like I blinked and the pregnancy is almost over. So yeah, I was 3 centimeters dilated. She was like, you know, you're pretty thin. So that's how that went. I also talked to her about my gallbladder. If you guys don't know, I got diagnosed last March with gallstones, and I wanted to ask her like when I could get it out, because before I got pregnant, we were planning on getting it out in July, and I ended up pregnant in June. So I wanted to ask her like how far after birth is like a safe time to get my gallbladder out, and she was like, you know what, like 4 weeks is pretty pretty good, like unless there's like intense birth trauma, I guess, then we'll see after that. But she was like, you know, you can probably get it out at 4 weeks postpartum. So she actually was going to give me a referral for a surgeon, and then she never did. So I still need to call into them and see if I can get that referral, because I need to do that like ASAP. Yeah. So I need to find a surgeon and everything like that for getting my gallbladder out. So that should be a lot of fun. That was very much sarcasm. This video is going to be super long, I'm sorry. My sense of smell is back. Oh my gosh. So during Victoria's pregnancy, that was my first symptom ever, was like intense sense of smell, to the point where I couldn't even clean dishes because the smell was just too much for me. Like the old food on dishes was just not okay. So my sense of smell is back. I don't remember what it was, but I literally had to plug my nose because I was like, I can't, like I'm going to puke if I smell that again. So it was bad. Lots and lots and lots of pressure. If y'all know what I mean. I'm feeling tons and tons of pressure. He has definitely dropped this week. So exciting. I'm just feeling tons and tons and tons of pressure, like to the point where I told Brayden the other night, I was like, it feels like he could break my water from how much pressure he's putting down there. Like that, it's insane. The other day we were walking out of Winco and I literally had to hold him up because it felt like he was going to fall out of me. That's how intense it was. So one of the coolest things this week was I saw him practice breathe. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that's super rare, but I felt it before and I was like, is that practice breathing? Like that can't be, like he just has to be doing something else in there, like it can't be. And then one day I was kind of recording my belly and all of a sudden it was like boom, boom, just like breathing, how you would like breathe in and out. And I was like, I posted it on Instagram and I was like, am I crazy or is this practice breathing? Because like it feels like it looks like it. And I got so many DMs saying, yeah, that could possibly be it, because they saw that their baby was practice breathing and whatnot. So I think I saw him practice breathe this week. I will put that clip in right here. Another thing is more of my mucus plug came out. Holy sh! I have lost 3 pieces of mucus plug, and I know that it regenerates and whatnot, so it's not like it means a ton. But I lost part of my mucus plug at 32 weeks with Victoria, and that was it. But this time around, I've lost three things of my mucus plug. That makes sense. So yeah, my mucus plug is coming out, and so I definitely think he will be here very, very soon. And I'm going to talk to you more about that later in this video and why I think that. So the really thing this week, I honest to God think I have SPD. If you don't know what that is, your body releases relaxin when you're pregnant, which causes your ligaments and everything to kind of relax and not be so tense and whatnot, so your belly can grow and baby can grow and everything like that. Anyway, SPD is essentially where too much relaxin is released, and so it causes your pelvic bone to essentially like break in half. Yeah. So I've been noticing for days that when I would turn in bed, I would hear and feel the middle of my pelvic bone break. Yeah. That hurts. And then one day, it was so random because I wasn't even like overexerting myself or anything the day before, but I woke up and I couldn't walk. I like physically couldn't walk because my pelvic bone felt like it was split in half, and every time I would walk it would like, oh my God, I don't even want to go back to that pain. Like that was horrible. I'm not even kidding you. It was intense. It was so painful. I literally laid in bed all day long with a heating pad on my pelvic bone because it was, I couldn't do anything. And I was like, I'm a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and that, like, I have duties to do, like I have work to do, and I couldn't do any of it because I physically was in so much pain. I cried so much that day, and I posted that on Instagram, and I was like, I am gonna take a break from Instagram today because I literally can't move. It was horrible. Every time Victoria like needed me for something, I was like trying to mentally prepare myself for the amount of pain that I was gonna endure doing whatever I needed to do. And so it was just, it was not good. So we had the baby shower this week. On Saturday, I'm gonna talk a little bit on this. This is kind of hard to talk about. For me, baby showers aren't about the presents, it's about the people that come. And my mom and mother-in-law were the only two that showed up. I remember during Victoria's pregnancy, I had so many people saying, oh, we're gonna come, we're gonna come, we're gonna come. And I remember sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting for them to show up, and they never did. And then after the party was over, I got so many text messages saying, hey, I have your present at home, I'll give it to you when I see you next, which was never. So I thought that that would hurt. Like, I knew that that hurt back then, but I had no idea that the second baby wouldn't have as much support. I understand like weather problems and whatnot. I totally get that, but it just kind of weighs on you when you're pregnant and having a baby and you don't have people supporting you. It's a lot to kind of go through. You know, like I could care less about the presents, I could care less about anything like that. It's your presence, like your actual presence. Not presents, but presence. That matters to me. And the fact that like no one showed up was kind of heartbreaking. And it just kind of makes you realize who's truly there for you and who will make the damn trip just to be there. Whether you have money for a present or not, like I don't care about that. It's all about the people that show up, and the fact that this has been something that has been talked about in the mom community for so long. It breaks my heart because it's like, be the friend that you needed when you were having a baby, and it sucks. Anyway, that's kind of all onto that. The baby shower was great other than that, but yeah, kind of a bummer. But yes, it just kind of makes you realize who's actually there for your kids and who's not, and who's not there you can just kick out of your life, because I definitely have, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. So after the baby shower, I had consistent contractions again, and I timed them, and they were about, oh man, I don't even remember. They were consistent for a couple hours, I want to say. I had like a couple every hour. I want to say like 3 every hour, which obviously isn't very consistent, but I did have contractions for hours upon hours upon hours after the baby shower. So another thing is the contractions make me nauseous. Oh my god. This is hell. You think that morning sickness is bad? Try having morning sickness that is contributed to your contractions. That sucks. But yeah, my contractions were making me nauseous, and this entire past like 4 or so days I have been very nauseous. I'm also starting to break out now. I am getting like pimples all around here, and I don't know if it's contributed to my makeup because I did just get some new foundation that I've never tried, but like I'm getting breakouts and I'm just like, no, go away. So also more of my mucus plug has come out as well. Like I said in the beginning of this video, lots and lots of mucus plug is coming out. So I had my appointment on Monday this will be a week ago for you guys. So I had my appointment on Monday and they did the GBS test, which is the group B strep test. I won't know the results of that until next Monday, which I am actually assuming that I will actually go into labor that day, so the day that you guys are watching this. But we won't know the results of that until my next appointment, so I still don't know. And I also asked her to check me, which the weird thing about this was I asked her to check me because at my last appointment I was 3 centimeters dilated. It's just kind of like a peace of mind type thing for me when I know that I'm actually in labor, laboring at home. That way I can like go back in my mind and say, hey, you were this centimeters dilated at your last appointment, blah, 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 blah. So I was still 3 centimeters dilated and 60% effaced, which is really good. So my gallbladder pain is back. Yeah, my gallbladder pain is back, and I thought I was going to have another gallbladder attack the other night. It was to the point where I literally had to just lay in bed with the heating pad on my back, on my gallbladder, and I couldn't move. That would make it worse. And so I thought I was gonna have a gallbladder attack. Thankfully didn't, but I thought I was going to. And so yeah, that really sucks. So for the past 3 days now, I've watched so many birth stories, heard people talk about birth so much and like the signs leading up to birth that they had. And I've heard so many people say that before they went into labor, their body kind of flushed everything out. And that's what's happening for the past 3 days now. In the past 3 days, I've had stomach aches randomly, like nothing that I've even eaten because I haven't really changed my diet and whatnot. But I keep having stomach aches and I'm having tons of TMI, diarrhea. Everyone gets diarrhea. But I've just been having that accompanied with nausea. And I've heard so many people say that that was like the main symptoms that they had before going into labor and whatnot. So I think that's really just fascinating. And I'm just hoping that that's signs of labor and not just my body saying I'm giving up on you, because that sucks. For the past 3 days, yeah, I've been having like consistent diarrhea, nausea, almost vomited yesterday. I got in the bath due to my restless leg. That is another thing. I've been having restless leg this week again. Really sucks, but I got in the bath just to kind of relieve that restless leg syndrome, and immediately I started to get nauseous and I was like, uh-oh. Oh no. It was to the point where my mouth was like salivating and everything like that. So it was bad, but yeah. So that is all of my symptoms this week. I'm sorry that this video is very long. I'm going to back up and show you guys my 37-week belly. Okay, so here is my belly with the shirt on, sort of. As you guys can see, none of my shirts fit. And with the shirt up from the front, from the other side, I'm feeling huge. He is definitely 100% dropped. So I'm feeling tons of pressure. I don't remember what we were at last time. Looks like 48.5 is what we're at. Crazy. But yeah, that is my 37-week belly. So crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye, guys. Please.